Before anything physical ever happens, before lips touch or hands explore, there's something far more powerful you carry into that moment. Your energy, it's your spirit, it's your essence. It's the presence of a woman who knows exactly who she is and what she brings to the table. See, what most people don't realize is that before any man enters your body, he's already entered your atmosphere. And that's where the real power lies. If your energy is off, chaotic, needy, or unsure, he feels it. But if your energy is centered, calm, self-assured, deeply feminine, and radiating strength, you don't just invite him in. You command respect before a single word is said. That's the moment you become unforgettable. You see, men don't tremble just because of a body. They don't lose sleep over curves alone. It's the woman who walks into the room like she already owns the space. The one who isn't begging to be loved because she already loves herself so deeply, so fully that a man knows. This ain't someone he's gonna play with. When you own your energy, it's not loud, it's not forced. It's not attention seeking, it's the quiet storm, it's that unshakable confidence. It's knowing you're not just the experience, you're the elevation. So right before that moment, when things start heating up, pause. Don't rush, look at him, breathe, let him feel your rhythm. Let him feel that you're in tune with your own body, with your own spirit, that you're not here to perform, you're not here to impress, you're here to be present, and he better meet you at that level. Because you're not giving access to your body. You're giving access to your temple, and not everybody is qualified to stand in holy places. A woman who knows her power doesn't seek permission to feel beautiful, sensual, or worthy. She carries it like perfume on, apologetic, soft, but impossible to ignore. You don't have to tell a man you're special when you feel it within. Your energy tells the story. Your body language speaks volumes. Your tone of voice, your breath, the calm in your eyes, it all tells him you're about to experience something that will change how you view every woman after me. Now let me tell you this. When you understand that, you stop chasing validation. You stop confusing being sexy with being available. You realize you are the fire, not the spark. You're the entire storm, not the forecast. And when you carry that kind of self-possession into the bedroom, he'll feel it. He'll respect it. He'll be nervous, not because he doubts his performance, but because he knows he's about to stand before a woman who doesn't just give herself. She allows a man to earn her. It's not about manipulation. It's not about playing games. It's about alignment. It's about vibrating so high that only those who have done the inner work can come close. Because the truth is, there are many women who look good, but not many who feel like peace. There are many women who can excite a man's body, but very few who shake his spirit. That kind of experience doesn't fade. That kind of experience doesn't get replaced. He could move on, but he won't ever forget the way you made him feel. Safe, inspired, deeply connected. This is about remembering that your worth isn't in how much you give. Your worth is in how much you honor yourself. And when you hold yourself to a higher standard, that man has no choice but to rise or fall off. And if he trembles, let it be because he knows he's in the presence of royalty, not just a woman, a queen, one who moves with grace, one who's grounded in purpose, one who knows the value of her yes and the strength of her no. That energy lingers. That energy marks him. That energy will have him thinking long after the moment has passed. Because before he ever touched your body, your soul already touched his. When you look a man in the eye right before that moment of intimacy, you are not just gazing. You are speaking without words. You are telling him, I know who I am. You are showing him that you are not a woman he can just touch. You are a woman he will feel in his bones for the rest of his life. That kind of confidence, that calm and controlled presence, that's what shakes a man to his core. Because let me tell you something, men don't tremble over beauty alone. They tremble over presence, and presence is power. The kind of power that doesn't come from your lips, your hips, or even your fingertips. It comes from the place inside you that knows you are not just desirable. You are unforgettable. See, when a man sees that you know your worth, when he sees that you carry yourself like you've already been chosen by yourself, he starts to realize this is not going to be an ordinary experience. This isn't just about lust. This isn't just about chemistry. This is about a woman who is so secure in who she is that her energy walks in the room before her body ever does. And when you hold his gaze, not with desperation, not with insecurity, but with calm certainty, you're telling him, I know what I bring. I don't need to convince you. I don't need to beg. I am the table, the chair, and the whole damn room. That kind of woman doesn't chase. She doesn't beg. She doesn't ask to be loved. She already loves herself so deeply that you better come correct or don't come at all. When you stand in that moment, with nothing but eye contact and stillness, you create tension. Not the kind of tension that comes from games, but the kind that comes from emotional maturity. You create a moment where the man starts thinking, this woman sees me, not just my body, not just my words, she sees through me. And baby, when a man feels seen, truly seen, that's when you unlock something in him he didn't even know was waiting to be opened. You see, men live in a world where most people want something from them. Sex, attention, validation. But when you look him in the eye with that quiet power and let him know, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to see me as I see myself. That's when he gets shook. Because now it ain't about physicality, now it's spiritual, now it's emotional, now it's real, and don't confuse this with arrogance. This ain't about ego. It's about knowing your value and not discounting it for anyone, not even in the most intimate moment. Because the truth is, when you come into that moment fully aware of your emotional currency, fully tapped into yourself, worth, he doesn't just get a body, he gets an experience, and not every woman delivers an experience. Most are too afraid to be seen, afraid to be vulnerable, afraid they'll scare a man off, but you're not afraid. You've already made peace with who you are. You've already made a home in yourself. So when he enters, he's not just stepping into pleasure. He's stepping into presence. That moment before, the silence, the connection, the soul behind the stare. That's what changes everything. That's the difference between a moment he remembers and a woman he can't forget. He won't remember what song was playing or what the lights looked like, but he will remember how you made him feel, not sexy, not wild, but seen, humbled, honored, because when a man realizes he's in the presence of a woman who values herself so highly, it raises the stakes. It raises his level. It forces him to meet you with more than just desire. It makes him want to show up with respect, because let's be real, there's nothing more powerful than a woman who knows what she deserves. And when you look him in the eye and hold that energy, that stillness, that silent strength, he knows he's not just being invited in physically. He's being allowed in. He's being trusted with access to something rare. Something sacred, something that doesn't get handed out just because he's attractive, charming, or persistent. You give it when you feel aligned, when you feel respected, when you feel seen, and that kind of intimacy. That kind of depth, that's what makes a man tremble. Not from nerves, not from pressure, but from reverence, from gratitude, from awe, because you didn't give him a moment. You gave him a memory, and baby, that stays with him forever. Before he ever touches your body, you have to touch something much deeper in him. I'm talking about his spirit, his core, that part of a man that don't show up on no dating app bio, that part of him that ain't interested in your curves, but in your character. Because real intimacy that leaves a man trembling forever, don't start in the bedroom. It starts in how you carry your essence like royalty. It starts when you walk into the room and the air shifts before you even speak. See, every woman has power, but not every woman knows how to activate it in the moment that matters most. When you speak to his spirit, you stop being just another pretty face, just another moment of pleasure. You become unforgettable. You become the voice he hears in the silence, the face he sees in his dreams, the calm in the middle of his chaos. When you're that woman, the one who's mastered how to connect from the soul before the skin, you don't compete. You don't chase, you command, because the deepest part of a man don't crave your body first. It craves peace. It craves trust. It craves the security of knowing the woman in front of him knows exactly who she is and what she's worth. Now let me tell you something. You don't get to this place by accident. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly become the woman that makes him tremble in his bones. You become her through experience, through self-reflection, through pain you didn't think you could survive but did anyway. You become her when you learn not to give yourself away to men who never earned access to your spirit. You become her when you stop performing and start embodying. When you stop trying to be what you think he wants and start being the woman you were born to be. A man can find beauty anywhere. He can find curves, lips, hips, and thighs in 100 different women. But what he can't find easily, and what he'll never forget once he experiences it, is the woman who reached into his soul without ever laying a finger on him. That's the woman that keeps him up at night. That's the woman that haunts his thoughts in the best way, not because she tried to trap him, but because she saw him. She spoke into his insecurities not to expose him, but to hold them gently. She didn't just make him feel like a man. She made him feel safe to be vulnerable, to be honest, to breathe. And listen, it don't matter how tough he looks on the outside. The tattoos, the muscles, the "I got this" attitude, it's all armor. But every warrior needs a resting place, and if you can become that for him, not by lowering your standards, but by elevating your energy, you won't need to worry about whether or not he'll come back. He'll stay. He'll be drawn, because no matter how far he goes, the memory of your spirit will whisper to him like a melody he can't get out of his head. When you're in that moment with him, don't rush. Don't perform. Don't panic, thinking you gotta impress him physically. That's already been done before. What ain't been done, speaking to his spirit while the world only talks to his surface. Ask him what scares him. Ask him what he's running from. Look at him like you see past his charm. Touch him like he's fragile, not because he's weak, but because you understand strength needs softness too. Let your silence say more than your words. Let your presence settle him before you even kiss him. Let him feel the depth of your femininity like a current he can't escape, and don't you dare shrink. Don't get smaller trying to make a man comfortable. If your light blinds him, then he was never meant to witness your glow. But when you do meet that man, the one who can hold all of who you are, make sure he meets your soul first. Because when he does, he won't just desire you. He'll honor you, and that, baby, is the kind of trembling that don't fade when the moment ends. It lives in his memory. It echoes in his decisions. It follows him into every room he walks in after you. This is not about playing games or using tactics. This is about being the kind of woman who knows that the real power ain't in your body. It's in your being. When you master that, no man will ever experience you and forget you. Not ever. You want to leave a mark on a man. You want to shake his core before anything physical even happens. Then you better understand the power of presence, the authority of a woman who walks in her standard. See, when a man steps to you, especially in an intimate moment, it's not just about attraction. It's about atmosphere. It's about what you carry, what you demand without even speaking. Setting the tone isn't about being loud or demanding. It's about being rooted. When you carry a standard, a man can feel it before he even touches you. And when you don't, he can feel that too. A man knows when he's dealing with a woman who knows herself. He knows when you're not desperate, not waiting for validation, not lowering yourself just to be chosen. There's a difference between a woman who wants attention and a woman who commands respect. You don't have to beg for honor when you embody it. And that tone, that energy, that quiet strength, it speaks volumes. That's what sets the tone before he even lays a hand on you. You ain't just letting him into your body. You're letting him into your space, your energy, your kingdom. You better make sure he earns the key. Too many women think they need to perform to keep a man's attention, but the truth is, you don't need to perform when you are the performance. You are the entire show, baby. The lights, the stage, the thunder, the heat. The moment he steps into your space, he should feel like he stepped into a sanctuary, not a circus. That's not about being perfect. It's about being present. When you show up fully, mind, body, soul, without shrinking, without apologizing, he trembles. Not because of your looks, not because of your moves, but because he realizes you're not like the rest. A man can't play with a woman who has rules, and I'm not talking about silly games or made-up timelines. I'm talking about a deep understanding of who you are and what you carry. You set the tone by honoring yourself, not rushing, not compromising just to feel wanted. You slow everything down and let him feel the weight of your spirit. The silence between your words should speak louder than any noise. And the way you hold your own space, that alone will make him nervous. Not because he's scared, but because he knows he's in the presence of something rare. You are not the prize just because you have a body. You are the prize because you know how to protect it, how to guard it, how to give it purpose. The intimacy you give isn't just skin. Deep, it's spiritual, it's mental, it's emotional. That's why setting the tone is everything. You show him that you are not a moment, you are a movement, that this ain't just a casual thing. It's an experience, and not everybody gets the full access pass. If he doesn't come with respect, if he doesn't come with intention, he doesn't even get to enter the room. Men don't just remember beauty, they remember power. The kind of power that doesn't have to speak to be heard. The kind of power that walks in silence and still shifts the atmosphere. That's what you give off when you've done the work. When you've healed, grown, forgiven, and evolved, a man can't help but approach you different. You ain't walking like someone who needs to be completed. You're walking like someone who's already whole. That's what makes a man tremble. That's what makes him see you not just as a woman, but as a force. Don't get it twisted. Your value doesn't lie in how much you give. Your value lies in how deeply you know yourself. And when you know yourself, you know how to set boundaries. You know how to say, this is who I am and this is how I move. You don't bend for attention. You don't break for affection. You make a man rise to meet you. That's what it means to set the tone. He doesn't control the moment. You do, because you created it, because you led with purpose, not pressure. There's nothing more attractive to a real man than a woman who sets the pace. Not with fear, but with grace. A woman who says, I don't need you to complete me. I need you to respect me. That's the kind of energy that makes him pause, makes him think, makes him shift. You didn't just invite him into your body, you invited him into your presence. And once he feels that, he'll never forget it, because no one forgets the first time they met a woman who was her own standard. Before the moment even happens, before anything physical ever takes place, you have to understand something powerful. What you do with your energy will outlast anything you do with your body. The most unforgettable women, the ones men can't shake off, the ones that live rent-free in a man's mind, are not remembered just for how they moved in the bedroom, but for what they carried before it even began. That energy, that presence, that look in her eyes that says, "You are not just entering a body, you are entering a temple." That woman is unforgettable. That woman makes a man tremble, not because of fear, but because he knows deep down he is about to cross a threshold with a woman who knows her value, who owns her space, and who doesn't give herself to anyone who hasn't earned the right to stand beside her. You don't need a perfect figure, you don't need lingerie from some boutique, and you definitely don't need to try to be someone else. You only need to do one thing, be rooted in your truth. Because when a woman is anchored in her worth, she can bring a grown man to his knees. When you walk into that room or that space, don't walk in asking for love, hoping for attention, or craving validation. Walk in as the answer to a question he didn't even know he had. Be so grounded in your self-respect, your peace, your emotional strength, that he feels like he's stepping into something holy. That's what makes a man tremble, not your body, not a pose, not a noise. But your presence, the way your silence speaks before you ever open your mouth, the way your eyes say, "You better come correct. I don't give myself to just anybody." Men are used to being pursued for all the wrong reasons. They're used to empty flattery, forced performances, and people. Pleasing women who hope physical intimacy will bring emotional closeness. But you operate on a different level. You know that your body is the bonus. But your mind, your energy, your identity, that's the real gift. When a man comes close to you and senses that you are not performing, not pretending, not desperate, he starts to realize this isn't about lust anymore. This is a spiritual exchange. This is a connection. This is something that will echo in his spirit long after the lights are off. And that's what haunts a man, not just what you did, but what he felt, what you activated, what you awakened in him. You gotta understand something. When a woman is aligned with herself, she creates a vibration in the room. She sets a tone that makes even the boldest man second guess his worth. That doesn't mean you're being arrogant. It means you respect yourself so much. You don't shrink to make a man comfortable. You rise to your highest self, and you expect him to rise with you. That's the part where he starts trembling, not out of weakness, but because he knows he's standing in front of something rare, something divine, something he didn't know he was looking for until it stared him in the face. That's the impact you carry when you understand who you are and what you deserve. Before anything physical ever happens, your spirit already made the first move. The way you speak, the way you breathe, the way you carry yourself, it all sends a message. You don't have to try to be sexy. Your self-awareness is seductive. Your discipline is magnetic. Your boundaries are beautiful. He doesn't even realize it, but the closer he gets to you, the more he feels the shift. He starts to realize he can't approach you the same way he's approached other women, because you don't move the way other women move. You don't laugh just to be liked. You don't touch just to be touched back. You don't offer your body to prove your value. You know your value without giving anything away, and that's the moment everything changes. When he looks at you right before he touches you, There should be a pause in his spirit, a holy hesitation, a reverence, because deep down he knows this woman is not here for entertainment. She is not here to stroke my ego. She is not here to chase me, please me, or heal me. She is here because she chose me, and her choice has weight. Her presence has purpose. Her energy is so full of intention that I can't just show up casually. I can't just go through the motions. I have to feel everything. I have to honor this. And that's when he trembles, not because he's scared, but because he knows he's never going to forget this woman for the rest of his life.